Some people are holding down 3, 4 jobs. I mean, I'm one of those people.
It means to be in the room and not of the room.
But he was engaging, he was asking questions, and that's how you actually become present.
It's very important that don't put off time.
A published author for the first time.
Yes.
Wow, well done to you. Yes, we're busy. Yes, we lead busy lives, but once in a while, just take time out and connect with those that you love, because tomorrow is not guaranteed.
I agree. And the more you learn, the more you grow.
Let me tell you, you know these social media, they know you. I want to talk and talk and talk because I love to talk.
Let's chill.
Welcome to Chilling with the Chaplins. We're a self-improvement podcast with a twist of culture. Because guess what? I'm South African and he is
American.
Yes. Every week we want to bring to you self-development topics. We unpack them, things that affect us, things that affect you, things that affect everybody in order for us to become better citizens, better people in this world, right? So we also just add a bit of culture because we are from different cultures. And so here's the thing. We live in a very fast-paced world.
Yes.
Like some people are holding down 3, 4 jobs. I mean, I'm one of those people. And it just gets insane and
overwhelming.
Right. And the only time that you get you want to rest. But then you lose contact with your loved ones. So I think in this episode we're gonna unpack on how to actually stay relevant to your loved ones. I think that's a better way of putting it.
Engage
And relevant. Like just being present. How we can become present citizens. How we can become present friends. Family members, business partners, whatever the relationship is that you really want to grow and develop. So we're going to touch on a few points on that and see how we've been affected as well in this journey of becoming, in becoming
podcasters.
No,
business owners.
No,
personal development.
In becoming present in our relationships.
Yes, present.
God, I wish you could read my mind. But anyways, so students, tune in and hear us out because you might learn a thing or two. Because in this episode, we really share some practical tips on really on how to be present in relationship regardless what they may look like. And also, before we go on, we really want to remind you to make sure that you press that subscribe button. It really helps us and it goes a mighty long way with the algorithmic and etc. I mean, guys, we're bringing you juice and fire every week. We feel like we're giving you really
practical,
but really profound
tips, strategies,
all of the above, but content. We know that we're not bringing you gossip and stuff like that, and that goes way more than just profound information or content, but it's still something that you can use to improve your life. So do us a favor, if you really like what you hear, just press that subscribe button, share it, and leave a comment in the comment section. But also, you can catch us on our audio platforms.
Yes, you can catch us on our audio platform. Like we always said, follow us on our audio platform. Rate us as well as leave a review. It does help us to grow the audio platform by you leaving a review, by you rating us. It lets the algorithm know that somebody is listening to Chilling with the Chaplins. But you said it for the YouTube, but I'm saying it for the audio platform. So
yeah. So what does it mean to be present in a relationship? That's what we're talking about today. It means different things to all of us.
Yes.
But to me, it really means just being there by body, mind, and spirit. Because some people feel like, especially husbands, they feel like, well, I'm here, and he's busy watching a soccer match, or he's busy on his phone, or whatever the case may be. And I, as a woman, because I'm an emotional being, I really want him like emotionally there. And I think that's where the biggest lack is in terms of, relationships.
Marriage.
Where really, there's a book that I once read that said men are from Mars, women are from Venus. And it's so true. It's like we're from different planets, right? Because I want to be emotionally fed. He's okay to just being physically fed, right? But we got to meet each other halfway, because that's our love language as women is we want people to be emotionally there for us, and your love language as male is you want the touch, you want the physical, right?
And service.
I'm not talking about your love language as such.
Okay.
I'm just talking about men in general. Like physical for them.
Yes.
You being there in the room, you think that you are present.
Present, yes.
But
that's
for us
true.
as women,
Yes.
it's you being there physically, but also you connecting with us emotionally as well. Because we're very emotional beings.
Yes, I got
so
you.
what does it mean to you to be present in a relationship?
What do it mean for me? Now I gotta put out the disclaimer because I'm overcoming this here. So this is very good, because if someone like me who is an introvert, who struggle to be present, who struggle with having conversation with individuals, I believe that this episode probably will be good for you, because it will show you how you can relate with other people. Because as an introvert, we feel like most people feel like introvert they lack EQ.
I think they really do.
They lack EQ. They lack empathy, because they're always to themselves. And so what do it mean to be present? It means to be fully engaged.
Absolutely.
It means to be in the room and not of the room. Not
okay. Everyone. Okay. You just stopped the poll there.
Yeah, it means to be in the room and not of the room. Because a lot of times we could be somewhere, right? Because like my wife always said, we checking the register.
Yeah.
Or we could be somewhere because maybe our partner dragged us to a place.
Especially when we go shopping.
Drag us to a place, and because we don't really want to be there, we don't engage. We don't have conversation. We don't.
You're on your phone.
We're on our phone. We look checking for email, and because of social media, because of phone technology, it really messes up. Because sometimes the phone kind of messes up when we're supposed to be somewhere, even if we don't want to be somewhere.
Yeah.
We still have to be present.
I mean, I've seen this so many times, even in restaurants. People are on a date night, on a date, and they hardly speak. Everybody's on their phone. It's like, what's the point? You could have just stayed at home and being on your phone. I feel like there should be a standing rule when people go on a date or something, or they decide to even have like a staycation. Put the phones away. They're not gonna go anywhere. In fact, I've seen most getaways. They don't provide Wi-Fi anymore, because they say connect with each other. Because people have lost that human connection. And it's just so sad. That's why you find in families, everybody's in their own room, in their own gadgets. And people hardly sit at the dinner table anymore, because people are just engaged in themselves. And we're losing our children to this digital society, where our kids are now influenced by what they see on social media, because that's where they spend 90% of their time. They only come to their parents when they want something. But they never really engage. You don't know what your child went through in school. Your child will get advice on social media. And then you wonder why there's so many guns are going around, people shooting other people. And you wonder why we live in such a messed up world where people are raping other people. I don't want to say the full word because we don't want YouTube to flag us. You know what I mean? Like getting into other people's personal spaces and doing what they're not supposed to be doing. And, you wonder why that mental instability is in such a high rise, because we are lacking that need of just communicating. You know what I heard just recently?
What? Tell me.
There's actually a thriving, and I was considering it, because I'm a hustler, right? Of cuddlers.
Who?
There's a new profession of people who offer services to cuddle.
Okay.
And they call cuddlers.
Okay.
Professional cuddlers.
Okay.
There's no intimacy involved.
Uh-huh.
All they do is they come in, you pay for an hour, 2 hours, whatever, and they come and touch you, hug you, just cuddle with you. Because you made me laughing, but it is like, and it pays really well.
It does?
They pay like up to $100 an hour.
Okay.
I mean, I was really considering, like, just to go and hug someone, and because I love to hug. So for me, that wouldn't be a job. That would be like, oh, come here, let me just give you a hug. And I give those really good, snuggly hugs. So I would probably get good tips too. But it is actually a real profession that's out there where people are paying so much money. Because I actually listened to an interview of one of the cuddlers. She said, when the session is over, because they time themselves, they're at work,
Okay.
and they say, okay, our session is over, it's time for me to go, are you okay?
It's like therapy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they say it's because people used to buy pets,
Yes.
but the pets are not like human touch, because at least when you have a cuddler, you can even cry on the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk to them. It's like therapy,
Yeah.
But of course, you're not allowed to advise because you're not trained.
You're not licensed.
You're not licensed to be a therapist. But some people just need somebody to listen to them. That's why there's therapists.
Yes.
Therapists really get paid for nothing. They just listen to people's garbage.
Yes. And that's what it's about, being present or connecting with the individuals.
Yeah.
And it's very important to listen. We talk about listening as well. And we know listening is part of communication, because when you're not present, when you're supposed to be somewhere and you're on your phone, the other party who you're with know that.
Yeah, they can feel
that.
it.
And then what happened is, like, for me, like, because I'm like I said, I'm an overcomer introvert. But I still had these insecurities growing up that nobody supported me. That I wasn't.
I think you still have them.
I'm saying I'm an overcomer of all these things. I'm still.
But because the honest truth is, our childhood affects our adulthood.
Yes.
That's why I said in my opening statement that it's sad that we're allowing this to happen in our families, where technology has overtaken the time of spending quality time with our people, being present, because you wouldn't have overcome if you didn't have a present partner.
Yes.
And your partner to show that she sees you. Because I could have just shut you off, and then that still continues. The feelings of feeling unloved, rejected, and all
abandoned.
that. You're overcoming it because there's somebody in your life right now who's actually trying to
bridge the gap.
Right.
Yeah, and so it allowed me to now like because I understand, as a coach, speaker, trainer, I need to connect with others. I need to build good relationships. I need to open up more. I need to show people who I am and not think that I'm being judged by what I'm gonna say, or or if they maybe they're not for me, or I'm not appreciated.
Yeah.
But it's still opening up, and I'm learning it because I know, as a coach, speaker, trainer, I have to build relationships. I have to reach out to people and things like that.
Yeah.
And even going places.
Yeah.
Not just because because I'm a recovery introvert. When I go places, I could be in the room and don't say anything. I just go to my phone.
Yeah.
And my wife brought this to my attention earlier, about when we went to the dinner.
Yeah.
We went to the Easter dinner with some friends, and
which were complete strangers to him, by the way.
It's good, complete strangers.
I also did not know them, but I make friends like that. It's very easy for me. But it's always been hard for you, even if it's people who you know.
Yeah.
So this was like a test for you.
Yes.
And he passed. Mm-hmm. And I was so impressed. And I actually told him that I was actually very impressed. And the beautiful part about that is that he enjoyed being there because he was present.
I was present.
What do I mean by that? His phone was put aside. Although he didn't understand some of the jokes, because some of them were inside South African jokes, because the group was mostly South African. but he was engaging, he was asking questions, and that's how you actually become present, when you want to be part of the conversation instead of you just retracting and like, oh, they all South Africans, I'm not bothered.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
And that's how you know, because as an introvert, you know, we got to learn this, because this is how we learn. This is how we grow. It's by being present, asking questions.
Yeah.
You know, there's a book by John Maxwell, Great Leaders Ask Good Questions.
Yeah.
And so it's all about being present inside a conversation.
But not just that, I also want to bring up is that, you know, just being aware as well, you know, of who you are in a situation, because when you're not aware, because you are not aware that you do that. Because even when we go see your mom,
Yes.
you know, he's there to see his mom, but he's really not there. Hi, Ma. And 5 minutes later, he's on his phone. I'll be like, but you're here to see her. You know, and so why are you not engaging with her? Because engagement goes a long way. And you said something earlier. It's so critical that we're reminded that as authors, because you're an author now.
Yes, I'm an author.
He's going to be a published co-author for the first time.
Yes.
Wow, well done to you.
Yes, and I'm getting ready to actually get ready to publish my own book as well.
I'm really excited about that.
Yes.
But what I was saying is that, you know, as authors, as coaches, speakers, and trainers, we have to be vulnerable.
Yes.
Because we can't expect that from other people when we cannot display it ourselves. And many people, in fact, all people, they relate more with a person who's vulnerable, who's put themselves out there, because they're showing that they are normal, they're human, and what you're going through, I go through too. Yeah. So I just wanted to emphasize that. Secondly, I want to say, being present, it means setting aside time. And yes, we live in a busy world, but like right now, I'm not feeling well. I'm sure you can see I'm sniffing my nose and everything. Excuse me for that. But I've said to my husband, I haven't seen your mom in a while. We really need to go see her. I could easily just go on the phone and say, hey, Ma, how are you? Because we do that most of the times. But I know that just being physically present, it means more than just being on the phone. Because I took time out to go and see the person. So yes, we're busy. Yes, we lead busy lives, but once in a while, just take time out and connect with those that you love you, because tomorrow is not guaranteed.
I agree. And so, and another thing I would like to bring up too, because about connecting and being present. My thing was, because we're in a busy world, this what, and really I got it after my brother passed away. Because I always was the type of person, you know what, I'm going to wait till I do this, I'm going to wait till I do this before, and then I give them me and do it. But sometimes, you know, life is short. And you don't know, you could be striving, you could be doing this, but it might take too long.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how long it's going to take you to end your
Because we don't know our expiry dates. We don't know our death dates.
So you can say, I'm going to wait, we're going hard. Once I get there, then I get them all me, and then I'll be present, then I give them my time, then I do this. But you don't know, because, you know, you can be working towards it, and then something happen, or you lose a loved one, and then what happened was, then you want to live in regret.
Yeah.
Back to living in regret. Then you start living in regret because like, I wish I was there more.
Yeah.
But, and this is why it's very important that don't put off time. Don't, you know, I love my wife a lot because she say, you know, time wait for nobody. We got to live in the moment.
Yeah.
We got to do it now. We got to live in the moment.
Create special memories.
While we building our life out, while we creating our life, while we building for success.
Well, we can still enjoy it, because what if we succeed at 60? What if we make it like we become those multi-millionaires?
And then we wasted all our 40 years and 50 years.
Just trying to hustle and puzzle and not create memories. I feel like every year, every month, a memory should be created.
Yes.
Like you should do something that you look back and say, oh wow, January was good. You know, we did this. February was it, and it doesn't have to involve money. And this is where we mess it up. Is that we always think that it involves money. Going to friends on Easter Sunday, that was a memory created.
Yes.
You know, because we were in a different neighborhood, different environment with different people. That was a memory created. And then was relationship
building.
Build.
Yeah, and which the impact of being present.
Right.
It allows you to build stronger connections.
Of course.
Building stronger relationships.
Yeah.
The thing that you do, so don't get so busy that you're not building stronger relationships because you're not present.
No.
Because people's like, you know what? He just working. He doing this. But they really want you to be there, but they know, they understand, and they're not gonna tell you.
Some do, like you hardly hear. I'm sorry, I have to work. Yeah, but you gotta be there for those special moments, especially.
Yes.
The birthdays, the holidays. I mean, of course, when you're married, it becomes hard to go because remember the Bible says when a man marries a woman,
he leaves.
Right.
He leaves.
He leaves his family. And this is the problem. Men don't want to leave. Oh no, we're going to go to our parents. Listen, you're creating a family with your wife. And
new memories.
And your children if you have kids. And so you're going to create your own family traditions. Who said that every Thanksgiving you got to be spending with your parents? And it's even harder in our relationships because my parents are far, his parents are close by, and sometimes it feels like I'm taking him away from his parents, but that's not the fact. The fact is we gotta create our own memories,
our own traditions,
rituals. I'm not saying don't go to none of the family
functions,
holidays and functions. We go, but don't make your spouse, because this can go either way. Don't make your spouse feel like a bad person when they are unable to go to every occasion and every event, because maybe they just want to be at home just with you, or maybe they want to go out and do something fun with you. And like on your birthday, you have always wanted to be with your family, and his birthday happens to be on Christmas Day, but I just want to be with him. So we've kind of agreed that it's our day, and if time permits, we see family afterwards. If time permits, and if time doesn't permit, nobody died. Tomorrow is still another day, And I'm glad that we've come to that agreement, because it was a tug of war when we first got married. Because I'm not taking you away from your family. I love you. I love your family. But at the same time, I really want to spend quality time and build a tradition for our family.
Yes, and another thing, the impact of the relationship, right? Here's the thing too: when you're not always present, a lot of times people have children. A lot of times we be so busy and we missing those games.
Yeah.
We missing those recitals. We not taking the time out to be able to speak to our own children. And then what happens when our children get older, they don't want to talk to you no more.
Because they don't know you.
They don't know you. They feel like, you know what, you're not my dad, you're not my mother, because you were never there for them.
Right.
And so this is about being the impact of that relationship when you're not present with your child, with your spouse. They'll be resentful between either your spouse, your loved one, your children, your business partner. They will be resentful, and they don't want to be in a relationship with you anymore.
Yeah.
Why? Because you don't take the time to be present.
Yeah.
You don't take the time to engage in nothing that they do. It's all about you. Basically, when you're doing things like I gotta work, basically you're being selfish.
Not necessarily. Especially in this country, you gotta work in order
No, you gotta work, but you still, like you say, we gotta live in the moment. You can't you gotta be, you gotta have balance.
Balance and be intentional.
Yes.
Because work can really consume you.
Yes, work can consume you.
Because the honest truth is, I've been really absent with your family.
Yes.
Not intentionally, but because the moment that I get that is free, I just want to rest. Because I don't want to go to your family and then retract and be on my phone or look tired or want to be sleepy.
Yes.
And show them that I really don't want to be there. I'd rather be on my bed. Then that's not being there.
That's not being it. That's not being present. You're coping.
Right.
You're coping.
And I'd rather not be in a coping mechanism. And we spoke about this earlier on the mastermind. And because this podcast is actually sponsored by Next Opportunity Window, which you'll talk about in a minute. But it was so relatable, the mastermind that we're talking about today, where we're talking about building relationships,
connected with people.
Yeah,
increase it, connectivity.
Right.
Yeah.
Connecting and being present in the moment, and being able to identify when you're actually not being present, because there's a lot of things that show you that you're not. And like I said, I mean, I used to go to his family exhausted, like beyond, but because I want to please him, I want to please the family. But I soon realized that, but they would even like chase us out. Go. She's tired, she's yawning, she's, that's not a visit. That's just doing it for the sake of doing it. And I'm one person who don't like just to do right. I just don't like doing things for the sake of. I really wanna, when I do something, to be really in it.
You want to be in it,
right? So yeah, it's so critical to understand the impact that it plays in our lives and the lives of our loved ones when we are absent. Because when you are really, really 100% present, you begin to even notice the little things, that person needs or requires of your relationship. You begin to know what ticks them off. You begin to know what makes them happy. But when you're hardly there, you won't know that, a good massage every now and then your wife needs, or your husband likes a pat on his back every now and then, or rub on his, chest or whatever. You don't know these things because you just never there.
Yeah.
And how you build these relationships is just noticing the little things that matter, that will make your relationship stronger. Tell us about the community. How can one be involved in the community?
Yes, how can you be involved in the community? It is a community for like-minded individuals who's ready to take action and maximize their life. In 6 months, where you can engage within the content, get involved, come on to the masterminds.
You said live. 6 months?
Yeah, you will maximize your life in 6 months.
Oh, okay.
If you engage, you plug it in. I believe you will maximize, because I believe I'm the first partaker. I believe by me being involved, getting in and learning, I began to see some changes in my life to be better, and then as well as the people that's inside the community that was coming to the mastermind, they seen changes right away. But you're able to come on the masterminds, webinars, and lunch and learns, and like I said again, to join this awesome community for personal development, to grow your life, is by just going to the nextopportunitywinner.com. You would have to fill out the form, and we get your 14 try offer, so that you could see the value inside the community before you actually be charged, but you get to see the value, and then once you see the value, you're like, what, I like this, I like the feel, I like what's going on, I like the videos, the monthly webinar, I'm learning a lot, and then once that, and within you can take advantage of 2 subscriptions. You could choose 2 subscriptions, the monthly or the annual. Now we get you a bigger discount for the annual to take advantage of it. But like I said, join the community, invest in yourself. It's all about investing in yourself, so that you're able to maximize your life. Don't be afraid to maximize your life, and don't be afraid, because you don't want to have regrets. And the more you learn, the more you grow. And I said that before. The more you learn, the more you grow.
Absolutely. And don't miss out. We really would love for you to be part of the family, because we're really learning great stuff. So continue with our topic of being present in relationships. One of the major, I think this is like point number bold highlighted, italic, is being able to put away distractions, eliminate distractions.
Yes.
And we know the distractions. We know them.
Yes.
Distraction number 1.
The phone.
And when it goes ping,
notification. That's the first thing you grab.
Let me tell you, these social media, they know you. When you haven't logged in for a bit, they will send you a message. And we watched the
Social Dilemma.
Social Dilemma on Netflix. It tells you how they play with our minds and our psychology in getting you to touch your phone every 2 seconds. When they realize that you haven't logged in, they will send you a ping that ping will make you pick up that phone. So just being wary of that. If you're in business or whatever, like my husband, the first thing that he does is, which is a really bad habit, he gets on his phone, and I get on my meditation. And I'm like, join me in the meditation. Nah, dude is not interested. Anyways. And then he gets on his laptop. And I'm thinking, that's been very absent, first of all. But that's why we bring you these topics, because we are learning as well as we go. I'm not saying I'm perfect either, because sometimes when I'm tuned into my meditation, I really don't want any disturbances. He says, "Hey baby, good morning." I'm like, "I'm meditating." So that's also, but it's I guess it's also just understanding each other. Okay, while she's meditating, she can't need any distractions, and I can only say hello as and when, whatever. But my point is remove those distractions.
Yes.
Remove them, because you cannot be present while you are
entertained
by
these gadgets or by these distractions. And one way you got, and when you're in the room, remember, you want to be in the room, not of the room. Like you want to like they always say, you want to be in the church, not of the church. And so when you're in the room with somebody, when you to show that you are there, if you have to, show off the phone. You're like when you're in court, right? When you're in court, the first thing they tell you to do is turn off your phone.
When you're in an airplane.
Yeah, when you turn off your phones. And so if you turn on your phones, you can be put in contempt.
Yeah.
So why? Because that's the time.
They want undivided attention.
Undivided attention. And so it's the same way, you got to eliminate the distractions, whatever distraction, because phone might not be your distraction. Your distraction might be pornography. They got a lot of distractions. So whatever your distraction is, you got to learn how to eliminate distraction when you are present in the room, when you are inside the room. You got to learn it, whatever it may be that could distract you. Because sometimes we could be somewhere we don't want to be, or sometimes maybe the person might not be. They might be saying something that you're not interested in, but you still want to be present and give that person their attention, because when you're not, they can feel it. So eliminate the distraction. That's big. Yeah,
and then when you've eliminated the distraction, then you learn to listen with empathy.
Yes, you learn to listen.
You learn to be there, and I think this is a big one for many people.
Many, especially introverts.
Because I don't want to say men, because there are men who are really good listeners out there.
Yes.
But just being truly present means be an active listener. That's why they say listening is a skill.
It's a skill.
It truly is, because it's so hard to listen. I mean, that's one of my weaknesses. I want to talk because I love to talk, But when you're the one who talks the most, you learn least. You hear least. And that's why even the Bible reminds us that be quick to
hear
and slow to
speak.
Right.
Because we know communication is 80% listening, 20% speaking.
And I think we've had it wrong all the while. We've always thought that it's the other way around. Yeah, where 80%, like, what do you mean I have to sit here and listen to you?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Because if you're not, then you will lose the communication that's between the lines, because some people won't really speak to you directly. They'll always be like, even body language. If you're distracted, like you're talking to somebody and you're looking the other way, you lose, the body movement. Because some people can say yes, but their body's saying no. Their facial expression is saying no. It's a giveaway. Some people don't have poker faces. So when you notice such things like, no, but you're not okay. So for example, when somebody's going through something, especially in a marital relationship, are you okay? They say, yeah, I'm fine. And you can tell that they're not. So if you are present, you can actually say, no, but I can see that you're not.
Yes.
Let's sit down and you and I talk about it. And maybe they may say, not now, maybe later. But you can keep taps on the person just to be there for them. Because when they know that you're there, even if they're not saying anything, that goes a long way.
It goes a long way. I totally agree. And so you want to show empathy. And here's the thing too. I want to bring this up because it came to mind something that you say that I want to bring up when we talk about being present, showing empathy. Because sometimes in a relationship or when we talk to somebody, sometimes we give presence to people that's higher than us, that have more influence than us, or that we respect, and those that beneath us, we don't show we don't show grace.
We have classes.
We have classes on. So it's very important to be present with everyone. Doesn't matter regardless of class. To be present with everyone, because a lot of times the very ones that you're gonna need the most is the one that's a lot of lower than you. The ones that's gonna be. And
even if you don't need them, like I think we learn.
Not need them. I don't want to say need them.
Cover.
Yes, but the ones that could the Bible said two is better than one. And so you never know who can help you.
Right.
Because the very ones you think you rejected is the very ones that could bless you.
Absolutely.
And the one that you feel like, scripture again, right? This Jesus gave a parable of the marriage, and he said, invite the people. He invited the dignified people. The presidents, all these high-ranking people, the business owners, all these people. Every last one of them was too busy, and they didn't show up to the wedding. They didn't show up to the party because they're the ones he respected the most.
Right.
So he invited those because they're, oh man, it's a status symbol. If they come, then guess what? I'm gonna have a good party. But guess what? They didn't show up.
Yeah.
So what had to do? So Jesus. They said, no, go invite the one that you didn't think of the first time. And this is why you want to be present, because now sometimes the ones you date's on your mind on the second time, now the first time, they're not your first option, they're your second options. They could have said no. Cause like you didn't think about me the first time. But he invited those people that he didn't invite the first time. They was his second choices. And the people that was the outcasts, the people that was lower than him, the people that wasn't maybe smarter than him. I'm just using different examples because I'm using my own imaginations of today. But he got all these different people that below him, that was nobodies, that was the outcasts. They didn't have the status signal. They wasn't entrepreneurs. They were just regular people. And he got them.
And they were present.
And they were present. They the one that came to the party. They the one that they supported them. They the one that honored them. And so this is why you want to be present and don't put a class to anyone, but be present with everyone. Not some people, but be present with everyone regardless of class or status or whatever, because we all need someone. We all can be a help to one another. And when we learn to be present with everyone, then there can be a win-win situation. And there's a book that I like to reference because this is a great book that you should read by Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And he talked about how to, influence and connect them with individuals regardless of social class. So definitely if you want to influence people, you got to learn how to relate to everybody regardless of status.
Right. And I just want to mention that, I'm just thinking while you're talking that even cheating in relationships starts when people are not present.
Yes, that's good.
So the person is missing that human element, somebody who will just pay attention to them. I follow this lady who dated a prisoner. She authored a book, and she explains in I haven't read the book, but she explains in her interviews that the reason why she fell in love with the prisoner who was in prison, incarcerated, is because that prisoner gave her all the attention that she needed. He was reliable, emotionally there, maybe not physically present, but emotionally, because remember, women are emotional beings.
Yes.
You just being there every time I call you. I don't know how they do it in prison, but yeah, they have phones. you being there. They have phones also in America. So this thing is like a international thing. Anyways, and so you and then you might think, why would a woman date a prisoner? Because they just want somebody who's present, somebody who's there, somebody who will listen. And it might not have been the best choice to go for a prisoner, but he's reliable at that point. And the sad part is when he was released out of prison, the everything that he did while he was in prison immediately disappeared.
Because you gotta remember, she was fulfilling something that he needed because he wanted to be present. He wanted someone to be present with.
Right.
Because you gotta remember, when you're in prison, you by yourself.
Right.
You're alone, so you want somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
And so she
Isn't it crazy that went on for 4 years?
Yeah, she was fulfilling his needs, and he was fulfilling her needs.
Yeah.
And so once he got out, he didn't need it no more. Cause I'm gonna do my thing, and I'm out. That happens a lot.
Yeah. But my point of me raising the story is that, people are led to do things because of what's happening around them as well. The current, because she had just come from a very abusive marriage, a toxic marriage, and she felt like she needed someone who will just love her, and she chose wrong. And she regrets it, but she says it was good for that time.
Yes.
Because when the guy was released from prison, it was a whole different story altogether. But my point is, let's be present for each other before people go try to find that elsewhere. And that's why we have sugar daddies and cougars. Because these kids are going after these older people, boys and girls, cougars for the boys and sugar daddies for the girls. Because these people are,
bless them.
bless them. They come in as a parental stroke lover, stroke provider.
Especially when they get the love from home.
You find that in most cases,
daddy was absent, especially when the daddy was absent.
You find that in most cases, people the cougars. People who date cougars, the boys that date cougars, and the young women who date blessers or sugar daddies, is because there was a breakdown in the family structure. It's highly unlikely that you find a child where both mom and dad who loved them, who was present, them going after something that toxic.
Yes.
Yeah. Because they're looking to fulfill a certain need.
Yes.
So another thing is showing up for important moments.
Yeah.
That's like so important. Tell us about it.
Like I mentioned earlier about showing up for important moments, going to the games, the recitals, showing up for important birthdays and anniversaries.
I'm a sucker for birthdays.
Yes, doing these little things. Cause my wife loves gifts. So showing up and she expecting these things on birthdays and anniversaries. She's showing up, for things like that. So at whatever important moment it may be, but just showing up whenever you can, whenever.
And it's been a culture shock for me in the United States because they don't give gifts.
That's not true.
Well, I haven't received any gifts, and I'd be like, why don't they give weddings and birthdays? I'd be like, why are there no gifts? And so I asked this girl.
Again, though, too, some people do things because of the status. And they feel like you're not important, and I guess you don't get your gifts. And that we just talked about that you don't want to do that because, you never know when you're going to... The Bible said, do unto others as you want to do.
But I feel like, why are you coming to eat my food and you're not bringing me even just something to show, you're appreciating. It's not about paying, but it's just celebrating.
Yeah, but still... If they feel like that you're not important to them, then they won't. It just go back to that winning thing. You feel like you're not the status that you're not important to them, then they won't do it, which is wrong.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have a respect of a person because what happened? Jesus do the same thing to you.
Yeah.
Jesus said, "I have no respect of a person," but a lot of times we get it backwards. We have a respect of a person when we should have no respect.
Brenda Fassie said it well. When Brenda Fassie was a pop star in South Africa, may her soul rest in peace. She used to sing a song. I'll translate it in English.
Okay.
Uphila nobani.
Okay.
Udlisa kanjani.
Yes.
Udlala indawo ezinjani. So the song is translated, it goes who you are. It goes by who you are. Nobody who you hang around with or live with. Which places you enter. Like which doors are open for you.
Okay.
Getting that was in Jan, yeah. And that's how people relate with you. Like if they, because classism is a real thing. There's a word for it, but I just cannot think of it. But it's a real thing where people class other people. If they feel like you're beneath them, they're not going to give you the amount of respect that they give to the next person whom they look up to, which is so sad because you don't know what the future holds for this person that you're looking down upon. So I feel like just give the same respect as you would give the next. Why respect the other over the other? You find even in rooms where people will come in and you are in a group, they will greet people who they respect and ignore you as if you don't exist. That is so heartbreaking and so painful, because you're just showing that you don't see me. And like you always say, in Zulu we have a greeting that says Sawubona.
I love that greeting.
I see you. And when somebody says I see you, they expect for you to respond because they are really seeing you. It's not like hi and you're gone. You're not even expecting a response. But when I say Sawubona,
you expect them to have a conversation with you.
Right. And the next thing will be Unjani. How are you?
You're expecting them to stop everything just to have a little conversation with you.
Even if it's 5 minutes.
Even just 5 minutes. Just to have that little, just to be present for that moment. Because like I said, the hustle and bustle, because we can be so in a rush, you running to get to the train, you running to, why are you doing this? You running red lights, that make you do all these crazy things because you're so in a rush. And come to find out, right, sometimes you be so in a rush and still get stuck at the next light.
Or be in an accident.
So, but I love the thing with the greeting. You saying stop. You expect to have that for stop a minute because life is not that. Life is here, but you know what? Don't take it too serious where you can't have a conversation.
Don't take it personal. Okay, but you're right. Be present in the moment. Cheer people on. Show that you acknowledge them and their achievements.
Yes.
And not just by being a spectator, but by being a participant.
Yes.
So important.
And another thing too, because showing empathy as well as listen to them, but what I want to say, listen to them, right? But make the conversation about the other person instead of you. That thing, make the conversation about them and not you.
I think it comes into our next point about being mindful about your communication because we often make the conversation about us. It's all about I did this, I did that. I have this. I will mention names. Somebody that I know who happens to be a profession that's respected. I won't say the name of the profession as well because if I say that, you guys, they can be watching and they'll know I'm talking about that. And in every sentence, they'll be like, "We as these people," I'll just say attorney for it, just for the sake of the conversation, okay? We as attorneys, we like to do this. We as attorneys, we we know that you're an attorney. Don't be reminding me every 5 seconds. Because now I'm not an attorney. Now you're trying to make me feel less of, you know what I mean? And that's what we say, not being mindful of your communication. Maybe they don't mean it that way. But the boasting every 5 seconds makes the other person feel less off. You know what I mean? And when you're talking to someone, they're using these bombastic words, like big words, like, I'm from the hood. You're trying to make me miss out on this conversation?
Exactly, yeah.
Just speak normal English. Just speak normal or regular language.
Because the sad part is, majority of the people speak normal, regular words, languages. Most people don't have PhDs.
Yeah.
So you
trying to impress who?
You're trying to impress who? Yeah, exactly. Who you trying to impress? Because most people that you're going to talk to, especially most people that you probably ain't trying to engage with, or if you're trying to have a client of someone, most of these people don't have PhDs. So you can't, you ain't pressing no one, but you definitely got to be open, and give an example with sometimes most politicians, some get it right, some get it wrong, and a lot of times, even when Ronald Reagan and Jimmy Carter were going at each other, and they were debating, you know. The reason why Jimmy Carter lost because he was trying to state all the facts.
Yeah.
He was trying to show what he
He was not engaging.
You know, it's like, do you know how many presidents that did that tactic? They state the facts. They try to make it seem all the good things that they've done. Instead of being about the people, relatable, and saying about the mention and being for the people. They try to like, you know what, this is what I done. I did this, I did this, I did. Nobody don't care what you done. The thing is like what you done for me lately. You know, sometimes people like, okay, I because you don't have to show what you done. They see what you done.
Absolutely.
If you done something
your
good,
track record
your track record for speak for you. So you don't have to remind people, oh, I did this, I did this,
like
I did
this
this.
friend of mine, which I will say is an attorney, but it's not really an attorney. I nearly said it. Attorneys like, get out.
Yeah, but the ones that relate, and Ronald Reagan did that, you know, related with and then, you know, and empathize with their feelings, empathize how the pain that they felt, and so those that, you know, I think the reason why Obama won as well because he charismatic, he was able to communicate.
That's right. In most cases, charismatic
relate.
leaders are the ones who win the crowd because they relatable.
They're relatable. The reason why Hillary Clinton lost. Because she couldn't relate to the audience as well as Donald Trump.
Yeah, he was smart, but he is so relatable.
He's so relatable. He related to his crowd. Yeah, he speaks like a regular person.
He gets the words wrong. He's not presidential. He's everything that's not.
Everything that he's not. But because he knew his messages, he knew his mission, and he related to those individuals who he wanted to relate to. He like just I'm gonna disrupt some things. This what you need, you know. You need a business person, someone that come in that know business, that know this, and so with Hillary Clinton, try to state the fact and shoot all fact,
which is good. But you need to balance.
You need to balance
because you also don't want President Donald Trump to lead a first world nation. You know what I mean?
But sometimes you need that disruptor.
Yeah,
you need
to wake the people.
To wake the people up, and sometimes another thing too, right? You have to be late, but the key thing is being mindful of the conversation, learning how to relate and show empathy with your audience, with the people who you're speaking to, and don't make the conversation more about you. Make it about the team or the people who you're talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've covered a mouthful, right? And I hope that you get something out of what we shared with you. We definitely learned it.
Yes, we definitely learned it.
So if you have anything to add or any topics that you'd like us to cover, please tell us in the comment section. We really would love to hear your feedback. But also, we really would love to be your friends on social media. So do follow me personally on Instagram at Lady Siza 1 and
Get Inspired by LJ.
Yeah, and all social media platforms, you'll find us as Chilling with the Chaplins. So we love you.
And we would like to say, if you enjoyed this video, check out the next video right up top that's linked to this video. Check it out, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.
Bye-bye.